So on my last video, in the comments, somebody asked me for a PvE tier list. Now, I don't really see the point of making one of these because I always add a PvE tier to my normal tier lists, but since everybody keeps asking for it, no matter how many times I explain there's not that many PvE bloodlines, I'm gonna make one. So, this is a PvE bloodline tier list. It's gonna be in the title, it's gonna be in the thumbnail. Do not think this is PvP. I have to say this because some people are very not smart. So I'm gonna get some comments even if I say this. Whatever, people just skip to the end. Anyway, let me just start ranking these. So I'm gonna just rank every single bloodline in, I believe, 4 tiers today. So I'm gonna have a trash tier, a best tier, a good tier, and an okay tier. So yeah, let's just start. Alright, so straight away from the trash tier, you may notice that every single bloodline that doesn't have high damage is gonna be in this tier. Like, even if they're super good combo potential, like Strange for example, it's gonna be in trash, because that doesn't matter for bosses, especially the big ones. Like, maybe if you're fighting a normal boss, good combo potential will come in handy, but if it doesn't do a lot of damage, it's pointless anyway. So, usually something that'd be in, like, best tier, like Ashen Storm, and Doku Tengoku, they are now going to be in the trash tier. Now for the okay tier, you may notice a lot less bloodlines than usual. That is because there's simply not that many good bloodlines for PvE. So these bloodlines in this tier, they're going to be the high damage output bloodlines. So things like Code Gaiden, Powder, Aizden, for example, these are going to be good. However, things like Araki Jokai, do not use that on a big boss, because that has combos and high damage moves, and they don't work unless you can actually lock onto the enemy. So as for Araki Jokai, Rune Khonshu, and Pikasenko, I wouldn't suggest using that on a big boss. Everything else should be fine. Alright, time for the good tier. Now, most of these bloodlines have something in common, and that is the fact that they have full Susanoo modes, extremely big ones at that. So, you may notice the original big Susanoo, Shindo Rengoku, directly in the middle here. That is because this is probably the most easy, low effort way to kill bosses. High damage, lots of range, and no cooldown. So you simply just spam, spam, and spam and get that damage done. Now, there's also Typhoon and Tsunami in here, and that is because they have very specific moves that do high damage to bosses, and I believe it's the third move for both of them, but I could be wrong. Make sure to test these moves on bosses first. Okay, best tier time. Now, every single bloodline in this tier has a move that does an extreme amount of damage to the boss, like 300k and up. Now, Apollo Sand is at the top because its C-Spec does like an insane amount of damage to the bosses. Sorry, its third move does an insane amount of damage to the bosses, but its C-Spec and mode is also quite useful. So if you want a bloodline that basically does everything, that's what you're going to want to go for. However, if you want pure damage, you're going to want to use Apollo Sand with Shadow, because Shadow C-Spec is basically Apollo's third move. And there's a lot more moves like that in the best tier, like for example, Crystal third, or Emerald second, Ice third. So there's just a lot of moves like that, and that's why all of these are this high. Now the C-Spec for Kameki Akuma does a lot of damage to small bosses if you stack it. Sorry, not Kameki Akuma, that is just regular Kameki, or Kameki Amethyst. Now Lava has the same kind of line AoE that Shadow has, and the same goes for Kohatsu. Xenodokai is practically the only outlier in this list, because Xenodokai has a basically blood bomb move that you use with your C-Spec that does an extremely high amount of damage. As well as that, it's also a Susanoo spec, so if you're in C-Spec you can just spam M1s while the moves are on cooldown. Now the C-Spec does usually 600k to larger bosses, and if you're using this against a lower boss, you're going to want to demode first. Since the AI patch to the bosses, Xenodokai has become a lot less effective, so you should keep that in mind when using it. If you're fighting a lower boss with the line AoEs, what you want to oh my lord, what am I trying to say? What you're gonna want to do, bro, am I tweaking? Anyway, what you want to do is go up onto a wall, look down at them, and then use the move. Now I will show you a clip of that right now and what that looks like. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to properly use these attacks against a low tier boss. Now, I'm going to walk up to this guy and try to use Apollo Sand on him. It's not going to go well because it knocks him up and he doesn't get hit by all the spikes. However, if I go on a wall like this, as you can see, 460k damage immediately. Now, this will also work with moves like Shadow, Crystal, and Emerald. So, this isn't just for Apollo Sand. However, Apollo Sand is the best at it because it flings them up into the rest of the spikes, while the other ones go down into the enemy. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how easy it is to kill a giant boss with these moves. Instant 600k, now 1 million, now it's on 1.4 million, and then let's dodge this, hit with an emerald. Now it's 1.7 million. Now, if you include stone and cement elements with this is going to do a ton more damage. So let's just finish this guy off. Apollo Sand, there we go. I'm also going to show you the strat that I use on the low tier boss with the giant bosses because it also works here. Alright, so as you can see, there's the boss. Let me equip my moves. Let's aggro him. Get him on me. Yeah, they did not update the AI for the big bosses. They're really slow. Alright. Up the wall we go. Shadow. Apollo Sand. As you can see, I'm already doing a lot more damage. Crystal. Sorry, that was Emerald. Now Crystal. So yeah, as you can see, that's 2 million damage. So that's 400k more than I did earlier. Now, he's probably going to run away now, but I'm going to try and risk it anyway. So yeah, another 400k there. He's almost dead. Now, if I were to equip Earth with this, because this is a bloodline tier list, I did not want to include Earth and Cement in the actual tier list, but I will show you how good these bloodlines are right now. So that's 100k. Oh shoot, fell off the wall, messed up my entire thing. That's the only issue with the strategy, is the falling off the wall. Otherwise, the strategy is perfect and does so much damage to the boss. So let me just equip this, equip this. That's not going to reach. I timed that wrong. Yeah, Crystal has a shorter range than everything else, so keep that in mind when you're using the strategy. But yeah, kill that boss really fast. If I had my elements from the start, it would have died a lot faster. So yeah, these are the moves you're going to want to use from Earth. This is the move from Cement, and this is the other move from Earth. I'll also show you the bloodline moves for Crystal. It's this move. This is the one for Emerald. This is the one for Apollo Sand, and of course the mode spec is for Shadow. So anyway guys, I feel like that's all I need to go over this video. If you like the video, like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll probably answer you if it's a valid question. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.